Hello again, good people of the interweb. Once again, I am Ichigo Musco, and I bring to you another review. This time, this review is of a game that I've tried to get some time into, but haven't got the chance to. It is Dynasty Warriors 8. It is the recent installment of the Dynasty Warriors series, and I want to say this. This game is a great expansion on the last game, which was Part 7. Mainly because it takes the story of Three Kingdoms into another angle, which is key throughout the various versions of the series. You see, there are some parts of the series that were changed just for the sake of storyline. I hate people when they ask something. Anyway, what I was saying before. Dynasty Warriors 8 is the latest installment of the Dynasty Warriors series. Currently, they changed the storyline around so it can be a little bit more emotional, and as I was stating before, I was actually working on a different storyline. I only cleared one storyline, and that was the Shu storyline. Now I'm currently working on the Wu storyline. I'm got a little something in my eyes, so mind you. The Wu storyline is a bit different than the Shu storyline because the most pivotal moment of the series plays out where we reach Jing Province. And Jing Province is the part of the story where Guan Yu actually dies. In the Shu storyline, it is shown that Guan Yu dies. He died by getting shot with an arrow. But not only that, but some soldiers just lined up on him and tried to cut him apart. But that man is so powerful. He basically just beat all of them down with the last of his power, and he just stood like a rock. Umong. That's another thing that they did in the Dynasty Warriors. In Dynasty Warriors 8, they actually corrected themselves with the pronunciation of names. So Lu Meng is Lu Meng, and Sun Quan is Su Qian. The list goes on and on and on. Because they didn't want to really mess up the Chinese translation, so therefore they kind of straightened it up, which I did really like. Anyway, the story's kind of different from the last installment. The only thing is, there are no voices when it comes to the narration, so you're going to have to read the story yourself. But the problem is, the text is so tiny, you can't really see it. So therefore, that's the only thing. Not only the text is tiny, but your map, your mini-map, is tiny too. It's like you can see about this much. This is how big everything is, including your own icon, to where you're going. But the main thing you can do is like, here it is. You can blow it up, but it'd be tiny as all hell. It's like you're like a flea on this map. Like everybody are a bunch of fleas or ants on this very map that you're looking at, that you're trying to consult when you're trying to go from one place to the other. The good thing is, when you actually do this, you can actually, I mean, the maps now are totally different. They're totally different because most of them have ledges. In some maps, you can jump off the ledges just to basically use it as a shortcut, or it could send you back a few ways. And the maps are slightly confusing if you don't know where to go. Personally, I like the maps from the previous games. Like, if they're big, you can see where they're going. I mean, you can see exactly what to do and whatnot, but, you know, this one takes a little getting used to because you're trying to go from point A to point B, and you're trying to stop at every little checkpoint that might need your assistance or anything of that matter. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but the maps here are just totally different. You do go through every highlight of the Three Kingdoms story from 5 different angles, because you have the following: you have Shu, Wu, Wei, Jin, and other. Those are 5 different storylines in which you can take on. And you will go through every one of these storylines, depending on who you pick first. It doesn't matter if you choose Wei first and work your way up to Jin, or you can work to Wu, work your way up to Jin, or work with Jin to Shu, or however order you feel like doing. Combat-wise, they changed up a lot of few things. If you've seen my first look video, then you realize that, for one, the combat system is different. It feels more high definition than anything. I think it was supposed to be made out for high definition because the way it looks. It looks like it was definitely programmed for high definition. My TV is, of course, high definition, but I do not have the Plex for it. Maybe next time I go to the swamp meet, I might ask for, you know, some HD cables. But no. But they have a few good additions to the game as far as combat goes. Now, joining the Muso attack, in which you've seen in 7, you have the aerial Muso, which was also introduced in 7. And there's a new one called the Raging Muso. And there's a 4th one in which I believe is a hidden Muso attack. But the thing about the Raging Muso is you would need to use, I'm going to use this as my example. You're going to use this, your right analog. You're going to have to use your right analog and the Muso button, which is B. And once you do, here's the beautiful thing about it. You can hold it down and basically wipe the floor clean off of soldiers. That means even with the enemy, even with the main branch enemy soldiers, you can actually wipe the floor clean. I mean, as sheer crowd control at the same time, it's badass on wheels. And there's another one, there's another attack that has been introduced in this installment called the Storm Rush. The Storm Rush is basically a flurry of blade attacks that you can perform, and when you perform them, they do a massive amount of damage to either one or a few enemies, depending on how the situation looks. I've done that like, besides my first look videos, I've done that like, shoot, maybe various amount of times, like maybe 20 times going through the game. And like I said, I've been doing a lot online, so I really haven't had the chance to actually play the game and play this game as much as everything else. So yeah, there's that. But Dynasty Warriors 8 also comes with a pre-ordered DLC. The pre-order DLC features the following: Guan Yu in his Dynasty Warriors 2, it's either 1 or 2, I think it might be 2, in his Dynasty Warriors 2 costume. Sun Shengjiang in her Romance of the Three Kingdoms costume, and I believe, I'm not sure if it's Xiaodu, but I know there's a Wei costume, and I believe it might be from either Classic Dynasty Warriors or Romance of the Three Kingdoms. I really don't know. It might be from Cats. I don't know. It's just one of the two that. It might be one of the two that is on my mind. I had to really look at it to go through it again. But the DLC is basically just that. Also, the DLC costume actually shows up in the game. So therefore, it doesn't switch to like normal, like you go from DLC to instant normal, but you actually wear the DLC in cutscene as well. So therefore, it's a good thing. Also, it has a new mode called Ambition Mode. Following the traditions of 7's Conquest Mode is Ambition Mode. Now, the difference between Conquest Mode in 7 and Ambition Mode is this. In Conquest Mode, all you're doing is you're going after every part of China. You're actually fighting in every part of China, excluding the DLC missions. But you're actually going through every part, every region of China, and it's a bit tedious, but you can actually accumulate a lot of gold if you just do it like beginner easy and all, beginner to chaos all the way down. Just to accumulate gold. That's all you're doing it for. But the thing here is, well, 7 had Conquest Mode in which you're going to rule all China. 8 has Ambition Mode in which you just want to get the Emperor on your side. And the only way you can do it is you have to rebuild the Tongektai. Now the Tongektai is basically, and I'll put it in the description box if you don't know what I'm saying. The Tongektai is basically your base. Your base of operations. That's what you're doing in Ambition Mode. You're actually building up your base. So whoever it is in the game, whoever it is that you're controlling for Ambition Mode, that's who you're sticking with, and you can actually change if you feel like you need to. Now you do get achievements for actually befriending the main officers throughout the game, and of course, as you progress through ambition mode, you get materials to level up your facilities. So therefore, like say you got the barracks, you got the tea house, and you got the smithy. Those are the three things that you're going to be leveling up, because the higher they are, the better things they sell. Like they sell animals, and they sell more weapons, and whatever money you get in this mode basically is a keep over in the story mode. No matter what story or what storyline you're doing, it's all there in the story. It's all there from ambition mode to story mode. It just carries over. So that's a good thing. That's all I use ambition mode for anyway. I use it as a means to accumulate money and to level up. If I'm tired with story mode, that's where I go, just to basically, just do that. But the thing with ambition mode is that you have 3 different battles you choose from: a great battle, a skirmish, and I believe a duel. I don't know. I'm going to have to look it up online, and I'll tell you more about it in the description. But that's one of the 3 battles you will go through, and you can basically go on like it's endurance, and the more you do, the more your chances of getting materials, soldiers, and fame, because that's the most important thing you're going to have. You're going to have fame, soldiers, and of course materials, because you'll need them to level up your facilities. All in all, 8 has simply wowed me, because I've actually waited so long for 8 to come out. And oh yes, you can also do this. You can also have story mode online, and you can fight with a friend or a stranger and go through a story in an online version. There's no big difference except that you're playing with 2 people instead of 1. And of course, if you're on Xbox Live, then trying to play with somebody that you know or somebody that you don't know can be a real pain, because you hardly get the chance to actually play online. But I'm glad they did put the whole thing for online as well as offline. But usually I like to go through story mode by myself. If I really want to go and push the envelope, yeah, I could do that with a friend, but I choose not to. Not because I don't like to team up with friends. Hell, I do it on Left 4 Dead and Borderlands. Speaking of which, I have an update video which features Borderlands, and it's not a real good one. So, following this video, I will actually make a proper LP update video. But that's gonna be a follow-up to my Borderlands update video. So, Dynasty Warriors 8, can I recommend that you get Dynasty Warriors 8? Yes. I mean, look at this. It basically says this. It says, experience the era of the 3 kingdoms through 44 newly designed stages. 44 stages. Enjoy playing a variety of modes, including new what-if scenarios and new action systems. Basically, that's all it's working on. A what-if mode, like, what if Guan Yu didn't get killed? Because that's where it was. That was my last part when I was playing this game. It was at what if Wu didn't kill Guan Yu, just left him alone. I said, well, you know what? That's fine, but you're gonna have to give us back that piece of land, just to let you know. And new playable characters join every kingdom. True, there are new playable characters, in which I will most likely unlock them at some point. I know one in Shu is called Zushu. And not the big dumpy dude from Wei, but there's a guy named Zushu in Shu. And if I'm not showing them off, please let me know to, say you want me to do a course in free mode and show this character off. I'd be glad to do it. But in any case, Dynasty Warriors 8 is one of those games that you really have to like, because you will not be disappointed. I can tell you that. If it's anything like previous games, and it's a Warriors game, and it's done by Koei, then you're gonna like it. So that concludes my review of Dynasty Warriors 8. Join me next time, which I talk about something else. Until then, I have been the Tenkaichi Gaming. Let's go. And with that, see you next time, and Tenkai Muso.